Hi. Seems like we're live. Gonna take a minute to prep myself. Oh, whoops, my description's wrong. Alright, I think that fixed it. Alright, let's get started, I guess. So yeah. I'm interested in thinking about what it would mean to develop an ORM in J. Maybe it's worth describing a little bit more context. So specifically what I'm curious about is, in this new programming language J, what is the conventional way the language sort of wants to engage with the database. I feel like in most OO languages, there's kind of an obvious connection where you define a class which represents a table in your database, and the type information of everything is inside that class, and an instance of that class is used to model changes to the database. But that's not really, I don't know if that feels like it's right for the J language. I think it seems like J is super flexible in terms of how you can consume and define and mess with types representing really granular bits of data. And so I think what I'm more interested in doing is thinking of ways that it got started just thinking oh, I'll build it just like ActiveRecord, or maybe Ecto. That's a cool one. But I think those felt wrong to me because they're pretty centered around the grain size of what you work on is always a single row from a single table somehow. And I think I've run into limitations with that in the past, where often what you really care about in code, at least in reading data, isn't exactly one row from one table, but some sort of derived view of multiple aggregate rows of different tables or something. And they both sort of fall flat in that use case in my experience. And so they rely you to you either need to sort of hack the ORM in order to support a trickier use case, or you need to rely on less portable database level features like using views or something like that. But then if you want to use a materialized view in Postgres to power a complex table, you find yourself in a position where you need to then build a lot of business logic around updating the materialized view. In general, it just it feels bad. Or one thing that I've done in the past is to hack Postgres, or to hack ActiveRecord a little bit into letting the user define a SQL query to go into a from expression to pretend to be a table under the hood. But that is also not very portable or durable because it breaks some key assumptions that ActiveRecord makes. So I think what I'm interested in doing is not just grabbing and fully copying this a table is the source of truth and the ideal grain size for everything in pursuing a database mapper thing in J. And I feel ORM is maybe not at all the right word for it, right? Because ORM is object relational mapping. We don't really have objects here. But I think I have some ideas about at least writing expressive SQL queries that feel like we could do good things here. And so maybe I'll just start by exploring some like query composing stuff in J. Um, but I should also clarify that I'm very new to this language. I've only had it for like a couple of days now. Um, so a lot of the stuff that I have is like kind of chaotic. Maybe I'll start just by like briefly exploring the setup that I found for myself. So first of all, it might be kind of obvious. I'm running this on a Mac. J only supports Windows and Linux right now. So for as long as my OS isn't supported, I'm doing a thing that is almost certainly like frustratingly against the point of this language, which I've got like this whole Docker setup going, running J and a container in Ubuntu so that I can actually access it. Um, but I don't know. That seemed like the only way to get going without switching up my whole like world. I have this like Docker compose that is based on this J workspace image, which is really lightweight. It just I forgot I defined it elsewhere. It's on my GitHub, but it's just like regular old Ubuntu running with a Postgres container alongside it. But it means that I can access like JLinux exists in this container. And then my project, I have this build.j. It felt like like making my own entire J metaprogram was a little bit more than I wanted to do, but I found myself almost immediately wanting support for just like lightweight test notes on things. And it seemed like just the easiest way to do that would be to stick it into the metaprogram for now. Um, so anyway, I don't know if this will last, and I haven't really like used this long enough to know if I feel good about this. But my goal here is just I'll be able to like sprinkle some tests in line, which I think is like roughly like when I was like poking around in there are these like test annotations dropped into like the J modules, which I don't know. That seems like a pretty cool way to do it. I remembered in some like in more strongly OO languages, it seemed like most people want to like have like a file for your class and then separately like a file for your tests for the class. And I found in some like FP languages it made a lot more sense to just like drop in these kinds of symbols, run them as tests, and then like feel pretty good that like you can so easily strip them from your production binary or whatever. Like who cares? So I figured I would just copy that pattern. But this is like such a dumb way to run tests, right? Like I'm just dropping a run directive in with the name of the function. I couldn't find like in these like J modules, I couldn't find like an implementation of this that actually consumes it. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. But yeah, so I thought that would be like a nice place to start. Um, okay, so I have this like metaprogram that runs, looks for like a test annotation, and maybe I better make this like lowercase t. I wonder if I'm like using it already. No, okay, great. And then I've written a little code already, and I don't think I love it. So to start with, I have these like repos. I was stealing a name, borrowing this name from Ecto, where you define a struct that represents. Oops. Maybe I should make my font a little bigger. That's maybe too big. But so I was thinking here, like maybe I could define like this slightly bigger too. Okay. Right, that like a user struct is sort of like the user record class from other languages. You define some repository, like a repo of users, which like this is the table name, and this is the struct that powers it. And in ActiveRecord, they do some string munging to pluralize user, and I kind of like that, so I think I might want to stick to something like that if we go down this path. But I felt like writing string munging to pluralize something, like starting to build an ORM by building an inflector, felt pretty foolish. Um, and then define repo, I had like a fun time learning a little bit about like metaprogramming and polymorphism. Um, and there's like a couple of pieces here. I connect to a database, but essentially define repo down here just does, like all it does is return an anonymous struct with a find constant built in that bakes the arguments of a polymorphic find procedure, and then just returns that. And I think this is like not really perfect, right? I'm playing with like a using like an anonymous struct as a namespace with a constant built into it. Like parts of this feel like I'm almost certainly not getting the spirit of things right here. But I felt like the purpose of this exercise is like sort of just to like learn how this is meant to be consumed. And then here, the actual body of the find, there's some stuff that has to get baked in about like what is the type of the record, what is the type of the ID on a record, which I think in some places I'm using this sort of like cool trick of like a type of record.id pattern to like make sure that ID could have like whatever type you wanted in the case of like UUIDs or string IDs or like other IDs. I don't think I'm using this everywhere yet though. And then yeah, I do like a little bit of like just like string munging to create like a SQL select from, and then I just like hard code in the where ID is equal to some parameter. I need to mess with like a pool allocator context in order for execute to free its stuff when it's done. And then I'm saving the result, which is newly allocated here. I have so many questions. It's been so long since I've written in like a systems level language that doesn't have memory management that like, man, the last time that I was writing anything in C, like the convention was never to return like new heap allocated stuff. But that's sure what it seems like this execute does. And maybe that's like the only thing that execute really like could do. Like I don't know how you could like pre-allocate the space needed for like an arbitrary length execute result or something. So maybe returning a pointer to like fresh allocated memory is like fine. Um, maybe. So I don't know. These are the kinds of things that I'm hoping to like figure out how I feel about this language. But I think that like the first step here is that I felt myself sort of instantly like this felt like the wrong level of granularity to mess with just any part of this operation. Like surely some like better designed find operation is gonna do a little bit better than implementing all this stuff from scratch. And so once I got this one here, I found myself almost immediately wanting like not a find, but like a get multiple. Like I don't want to just get the first one, but get like a collection of records, which looks like probably would be like pretty close to some of this behavior. But it means that I need to be able to break out like we're not like always absolutely pulling by ID. From starting this, I thought through like, is this like a place for like, excuse me, relational algebra? Like what's even really the goal here? And so it pushed me down this path where I'm thinking like one useful path forward is probably to write, and this is just like a scratch pad where I dump some stuff, to write some like just like SQL generation stuff. And I think this stuff is kind of wrong, so maybe I'm probably wrong. I'm just like pull out this file entirely. And I don't know, just open like a new empty buffer. Cool. All right, so I'll leave that stuff in there. But I'm thinking what I probably want here is like some like structures and helpers that let us play with SQL queries. And one thing that like resonated with me as like an obvious good starting point would be like the select piece, and concretely the select piece being tied to like a type info of some struct that describes the types. Like feels pretty good to me. Like I think that's a thread I want to pull on, where like maybe the ideal syntax here is like, I don't know, like we have some like record type, let's call it like select, and like this is gonna return, like I don't know even what the return type of this wants to be. Like we probably want it to be some kind of a data structure that like knows how to, that both has like a reference to the type itself and also like knows how to convert itself to a SQL string, knows how to like sort of parse the results afterwards. So I'm just gonna leave that blank for now. But yeah, let's think for a sec. Maybe this is just like a struct. like a type. Does this work? And if that's true, is this just like there's like nothing in here? It seems like we might like in a mature version of this have like a modify in here to make sure that all the types of the struct getting passed in are mappable. Maybe I'll start by writing some like example code of what I might want here. So I feel like I don't know. Let's think through this. Like, I don't know. Let's do like SQL. So let's say that we have like some type, like row type. Oh, and one thing here is that my repos here, my types here are, I like have a little toy database with like 3 or 4 rows in each. Maybe I should start by writing this code actually. I changed some stuff. I wonder if anything's broken. So build, oh cool, string tests. Oh, how did I get in there? What in the world? Oh man, I think because I included modules, these are leaking through. Dang, my metaprogram is too simple. Okay, so I'll switch this back to capital T, and yeah, okay, so now it builds. It seems like it didn't actually run any tests at all, which is fine. Actually, I think we can check this to be certain. Let me clear out the added strings. Just to make sure we're in like a fresh build. Alright, we built, and here, yeah, we have no tests. That's great. Okay, that's what I would expect. Interesting that this is like digging into modules code. I wasn't expecting that. Still have a lot to learn about this language. Okay, but then running this, it just like fetches a couple like records out, and yeah, that's about it. So it's that you can like find records and you can like miss records and everything is cool here. Although I think I might do one thing, which is user set email. Double quotes. Now if I run it again, I've changed that email address, so we can see we got that email address specified, someone@email.org. So it's like pulling out, these are timestamps from created at and updated at, except I don't think I even built support for updated at yet. So yeah, it's a real toy example, but I've got like a few records in a database. It's cool. Okay, so then what do we want to try in here? So yeah, the example code that I'm thinking is probably something like define a struct like this. So maybe what we care about is like, I don't know. Maybe let's think through like what we care about here is maybe like the So for a contrived example, like we have like this data model is like a to-do app. And let's just say like we could just write a SQL query to like get a single record from the users table, but let's say like maybe what we care about is like the most recently created at as well as a user's ID, you know? So like I want like a user plus if they have any to-dos, I want like their most recent created at from the to-do. So why don't we call this like user ID and most recently created to do most recently created at. This isn't perfect yet. I think I need like a here. Okay, so this is going to define like the 2 columns that we care about here. Although, like, obviously already I'm into an issue here where this wants to be like users.id and this wants to be like max to-dos dot created at, assuming that we're like we have like a group by users.id. We have like a join and a group by, like, which maybe I'm starting with too tricky of an example here. Yeah, why don't we simplify this and say just like uppercase email. And so let's just say that this is like users.id, and then this is like upper users.email. I think that's the syntax in Postgres. So, okay, like maybe all we need here is just like row type. But like, I wonder, do we need like a richer mapping here? Okay, so some thoughts that immediately pop into my head. We could say like, I don't know, like as users.id. So like this is a way that we maybe like sneak in a note here. And I think from the last talk, there's like some interest in like some syntax like this someday, to mess with nodes, to add structure to them. But it's easy enough to think through that we might just like parse like a SQL expression or something like that. Like that maybe, to let it know that like this is how we're going to string things together. But now we're like really leaning right into the like this is like so meta-programmed and like kind of magic. It's like, I don't know, this is great. Another thing that we might try to do is like generate this as like an anonymous struct. So instead of like, you know, passing in this like SQL select struct or something, we could have like a SQL, like a select like method here, and like what's it gonna take? It'll take some like like var args of like pairs of like types, triples of like, I'll like sketch this out. I think this is gonna look pretty ugly. But let's call it like how do we do var args again? Args. I think it's just like dot dot, and we need a type afterwards. Is it 3 dots? Yeah, like this maybe. This looks about right. That's like spreading. Looks like this, right? No. This looks like the correct syntax. Great. Dot dot any. Okay, so args is a dot dot string. Yeah, okay, so we got some strings. Okay, and so like maybe we need like args to be like triples. I don't know. We can sneak in a modify, but like, let's say like args is gonna be, it's gonna be like name type, like a SQL type. Maybe we need like a selection. I have a name and I have a type, which is like a type, and it'll have a expression, which will default, which is like fine. Okay, so these will be like empty string. Great. Okay, so then this seems a little bit better, right? So we can have like selections. Will be like a varg of SQL selection. Okay, but then this is going to need to know. So if we're like defining any sort of like special types here, this has got to be baked in. But that seems like that's all right. And maybe at this point, like we might as well just do like an array of SQL selections here. That seems fine to me. And it's all going to be known statically. Life is pretty good there. Okay. So yeah, I guess if we're like generating a type from scratch, like woof, do we already need like an insert and a run? We'll like build up a string builder to like emit the string representation of this type. So like how would I like to consume this? I think what I want to do is like, alright, let's just like get rid of that. Let's say yeah. So let's say like subject equals SQL select of a SQL selection. You know what? Actually, I feel like as I'm writing J, I feel like I want to only bring in like hard-coded type things as necessary. Let's like duck type as much as we can, maybe. Okay, so let's just call this like ID. Type is gonna be int, and expression is gonna be users.id, let's say, and then we have like a second one of, and let's like stick to this case maybe, right? So I have like a user ID and an uppercase email. So this let's call user ID. Uppercase email, type is going to be string, and expression is going to be upper users.email. That seems fine. That seems like it's about what I want, right? Okay, and then like expected is going to be a struct. And like this is a weird test, right? Because I don't even know how these types are going to be compared. If they like share, if like one of them is like generated from an insert run string and the other one's not. But I guess like what I'm looking for here is like I want like a type that's going to look like name int and oh no, wait, this is wrong. User ID int and uppercase email string. Okay, so assert subject equals expected. Or maybe like expected equals actual. That seems like a better convention. Okay. I think this has to be a colon equals. Alright. So if I build, this should fail. Oh man, this test. I don't think I'm ever importing SQL.j. SQL.j. Main. And now, okay, we blew up all over the place. Great. Missing semicolon. Classic. What? Oh, struct. Cool. All kinds of wrong about this. Unable to parse type instantiation. I don't know what that means. Maybe this like... Does that help? Yeah. I think I'll just comment out this entire body for now, because there's nothing here. Great. I'm missing a closing curly brace. Where? Like, I don't need another semicolon at the end, probably, but what are you talking about? Line 33. I've struggled with this before. Are these supposed to be like equal signs and like... Semicolons? I don't think so. What am I looking for here? I want dot, curly brace, commas. Commas and equal signs. Okay. Alright. Alright, what's now? Closing bracket expected on line 34. No, there's multiple things in this list. Oh, maybe you need like a dot here. Is that the problem? No. Huh. I should be able to have multiple elements in a list, shouldn't I? What's happening here? This is the syntax, isn't it? I can't imagine that's the problem. I don't know, I'm going back and forth on that. That's not the issue. Shouldn't this be possible? Maybe I'll try with just like one SQL selection to begin with. Gave you a closing bracket. Unable to parse type instantiation. Let's just like break this down into smaller pieces. So let's go with like like user ID SQL selection. Pull that out, and then I'll pull out this one. Uppercase email. Great, and let's say like actual is going to be SQL select user ID SQL selection and uppercase email SQL selection. Where do we fail? Expected a semicolon. Expected a closing bracket. What is that about? Isn't this how array literals work? Oh, it's not. It's like this, right? Nope, that's not right. How do array literals work? Okay, so it's not that anymore. What am I looking for? You can declare them, insert into them, get me a literal, get me a literal. I don't want resizable. I don't know. Is there no like array literals? There's struct literals. Array literals. Alright, okay. Int dot bracket. Okay, so does that work? Not constant. Huh. I should have seen this coming. I wonder if that helps. Nope. Oh, semicolon. Not constant. This is like pretty constant, isn't it? It's like a couple of structs and like double colons on the stack. Everything here. It's like an array literal, intrinsically non-constant. Bummer. on line 43, I don't know, can I do this? Okay, cool. That seems like maybe it's a little bit better. I don't know, let's return like some struct. Blah. This is like obviously the wrong thing. I just want a failing test. What? Parse the declaration. So we expected a semicolon after it, but saw this entire procedure instead. But I've like returned structs before. Do I need to like, oh man, I think I've run into this before. Let's call like select. Nope, that didn't help. What could be happening here? Is my array syntax wrong? I think my array syntax is correct. Man, this is much slower going than I was anticipating. I guess I've got a lot of learning to do. I'm not even sure where my issue is. Okay, character 29. I wonder if my like syntax highlighting isn't super helpful in the terminal. Line 23, character 29. This one. That needs a semicolon? Of course. Alright. Assertion failed. And I think if I was playing with this earlier, and I think that like in some cases I can use a hash assert. And some, yeah, I can't. Can't do it here. Gotta use like a regular assert, which means the best I can do is just assertion failed with a stack trace. Great. Okay, neat. Here we go. Alright, so I'm gonna build a type. So from repo, I have some logic about string builders. I wonder, man, my like Ruby past has me thinking that like there's like some value in here of like, I don't know. Or even just like, I don't know, maybe I'll get to a point of wanting this at some point in the future, but like being able to do like this and get the defer free buffers and like a macro so I won't have to like remember this all the time. I think I'll hold off on that until I actually find a use case for it. But oh well, I'll get there. I'll get there. Okay, so for SQL selections, okay, so each one I need to get its, I have like a name and a type and an expression. Great. So I think that I'm starting with just the struct. I'm starting with just the struct. Great, so I'll pull that out. Okay, and then I want to start by print to builder. With struct that. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then at the end, I need to print to builder the closing paren. And here, I want to return to string, right? Builder, string from builder, builder to string. Great. Okay, so then for each SQL selection, I want to print to builder the name and then the type. Yeah. And I think I need like type info, or does like .name exist? Let's try name here. I might need to like check over here. I don't know if it's even in a compiler. I think it's probably in something else. Preload. Alright. I don't know how I even get name. So I probably need like a... Uh-oh. Man, this is going to be a little bit weird, isn't it? Maybe I'll just like try not even messing with name. I'll just like do exactly this and see what happens. Great. That failed. Did I have a missing semicolon? What did it say? Semicolon expected after expression. Yep. Oh yeah. Print builder. Type string builder. Return shouldn't be here. Well, that's surprising. Okay. I wonder what I'm supposed to make of this error. Oh, I didn't realize there were messages in chat. I'm not sure if you're still here. This is not MacBook Air M1. I do all my professional work on this Mac. This is an old MacBook Pro. It has Intel hardware. I don't know if this would run on M1 hardware actually, even in a Docker container or whatever. Whoops, sorry, I might have been very slow to respond to that message. Lost my thread. Yeah, okay. Still trying to build this type. Still trying to match something that I can like select from a database. I wonder if this has anything interesting in it. Yeah, great. So, okay. It's promising. I go on a new line here. That'll make it a little bit more readable. Yeah, still broken, but the added strings are like close to accurate. Okay, well, I mean that looks like pretty close to correct, yeah. Maybe we need a semicolon here. More than one expression, what does that even mean? Oh, maybe I can, This sure looks like one expression to me. Doesn't this look like one expression? Hmm. I feel like there are insert run examples in here. Oh boy, this code highlighting is not excellent. Okay. Right, okay, this feels like a similar setup. Pretty close to what I've got. Is it that I'm... Man, I don't know. All in. Metaprogram the entire statement. Shocked that that worked better. Assertion still failed. Okay, cool. So at this point, I think it's just like my matching is no good. So let me like throw in a couple prints. I don't know if this will actually even make it. Assertion failed. I don't see any prints. Did I just get it lost in the weeds? Expected is like a struct called expected. Actual is that. Let me like poke around into like members. Does this work? Can you not send the message members to a type? No. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. So let's like do like type up an info on it. Nope. Not constant, huh? I'm pretty sure this actually will always be constant, though. What are my added strings? Uh-oh. Bummer. Okay. Well... Is that right? I don't know. Can I even do the first part? Alright. Well, I can at least do this first half. Does that blow up? Yes. Oh. Yeah, okay. That blows up differently. Huh. Does type info only play with constant types? I guess that's plausible. Alright. Well, so then why can't this be full-on constant? I don't know. Can this be like a... How can a type not be constant? You know? I wonder if I make this a macro, does it work better? Doubt it. Why would that make it better? Yeah, that was a bad plan. Alright, what's the expression that's not constant? Oh, is it the array? Can there not be, do like non-constant arrays not exist? This has got a colon colon. Does this work? Oh, hang on, let me clear some of this out. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Is constant is true. Okay. Well then what part of this is non-constant? Maybe I'll try that. I don't know. I can't think of a reason why that would help, but it seems cute. Like maybe like passing in an array it's like weird under the hood. I don't know. Uppercase email SQL selection. Get rid of that. That array literal syntax is kind of crafty anyway. Oh, okay. Well, now we made it here, but this is not double colon. Dang! Which part is non-constant in here? SQL select? It's pretty constant. Yep. Maybe like, I wonder if there's a way I can like pull this out into like a. Does this help me in any way? I doubt it. How could this possibly help me? Maybe I'll just like reaffirm to the compiler that this is in fact constant. Or maybe I'll figure out for myself how this is not constant. Either way, I feel like being more explicit about this without using an inline procedure will only make my life a little bit simpler. SQL select body of SQL selections. Alright. Return, insert, run, struct, I don't know. Hey, okay, SQL selections. Yeah, alright, throw the return back in here. Oh, assertion failed. Hey, it built. Wow, this helped. Okay, I guess the inline procedure looked non-constant. Okay, well, that was easy to work around. Oh, no, wait. I didn't really exercise that issue yet. Still non-constant over here. Well, this is falling apart quickly. Hmm. I think I might just be misunderstanding what this error message even means. So, let me like rerun it with the colon equals, and the assertion failed. And this is generated on SQL.j line 37, which is what I anticipated. It's like closer to correct than I was even anticipating. It's a noisy day in Brooklyn. So, alright, let me get like shameless green here. And just like cheat. Yeah, I'm a big fan of shameless green. Does this work? Oh yeah, too many colons. Too many colons. Don't need any colons at all there. Huh. What is non-constant here? Do I need to do like a run? That's ugly. Man, the levels of run directives I need here. Woof. This makes me think I might be barking up the wrong tree here. Okay. Expected are just pointers. Well, that is not very interesting. Can I do like a dot members here? Oh, cool. Alright. Well, hey, this is neat. Alright, let's like diff these two manually over here. Expected, actual. Okay, each of them have a user ID with equal types and equal offset in bytes. I don't know if the offsets really matter. I feel like what really counts here is making sure that like the names and types match. Alright, cool. But like the ordering probably doesn't. Yeah, alright. I wonder if I can... Alright, so what I probably care about is just comparing names and types, right? Expected members 0. Maybe like 4. Expected member and expected info.members. I think for each one, I just want to make sure there's like something in actual that matches its name and its type, right? Matches false for actual member and actual info.members if actual member dot type. So if this whole thing, we can just like matches or equals. I guess like if we match then matches gets true, break. I think I'll just break out of the 1 and then assert matches Yeah? Ah, there's no in. It's colon. Hey, the test pass. Okay, cool. I've got a struct. It looks like something. Alright, alright, alright. So now what do I do? I have... Let me like clear some of this out. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need this, or that, or that. Alright, so... I think this is kind of ugly. Looks slightly better. Now what? So clearly, just this type isn't enough. I also need like the, I don't know, maybe like the SQL string that gets us here. So maybe I'll play with that next. Yeah. So we get the body, and maybe I need like the SQL select. So this is like the, I don't know, let's call this like the type. Oops. Type body. I don't know, just call it type. Yeah. Body string. Code string. Yeah, okay, that seems reasonable. Great. And let's do select. This is gonna be like the expression. Although, like I'm thinking maybe the result, the end result here, I guess I can just sneak it into expected, is like, maybe this is really what I want, right? It'll just have like a constant thrown in to the struct, like at this level. That seems kind of cool to me. So this should now fail. Okay. Neat. I wonder if assert has any other... Like, can you, like, sneak in... Yeah. Great. Okay, so... Ooh, maybe I should make sure that, like, we have the same number of members, too. Expected that to be present and that... And expected member and actual members. Actual info.members. Cool. Expected. SQL expression. Awesome. That's fun. Ah, I love that. Okay. So now I can just throw this into the bottom here. And I need an expression. What do I call it? SQL expression? Cool. SQL expression builder. Okay, so for each SQL expression, I also need to print a builder into the SQL expression builder with just like this, right? Yeah. And then like if it index is less than SQL selections that count. I need like commas, but only like not, I don't need a comma on the last one. So I gotta sneak this in here. I'm like almost ready for like a string library. Great. Okay. And then print to builder of the type string builder. I need SQL expression. Oh, maybe I keep it aligned. Yeah? Oh. Busted. What did nope. No. Okay, let me read this error more closely. Builder to string. Perfect. Mm-hmm. 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 Hey! We're green. Okay. Looks like it added strings. This looks pretty close to... I think I need a new line here too. And yeah, this is manageable. This seems manageable. Tests pass. Okay, okay. And then let me make sure that like actual has like the correct, doesn't have any extra stuff. I don't know. This seems like a pretty reasonable test. Okay, okay. Okay. Alright. I have like a... Alright, I don't think this actually like bought me anything here, so I think I'm gonna pull this out and inline this procedure. Because this seems like a little nicer. Yeah, okay, great. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, so we have this like select struct now. And like, but like the struct isn't like, you know, real helpful. I think I need like spaces in here, right? I think I want to like make sure that this matches too. Okay, so I want to like assert expected dot SQL expression equals actual dot SQL expression. And this is probably going to fail now because I think we have like a white space difference. Yeah. Okay, so these white space differences I can fix, I think, just by adding like a space there. No. What did we get wrong? User ID uppercase. Oh yeah, this is wrong. Whew, man. Glad I wrote that test. This shouldn't be the name at all. This should be the let's call it expression, right? Oops, this is the wrong terminal. Hey, okay. And now we're selecting users.id and upper of users.email. That's cool, right? That's fun. Oops. All right. Cool. I feel pretty good about this. So I think like the next step is almost certainly to glue this into like a from expression and see what happens. I'm gonna pull this out because that's sort of dead. I think this is still used. Yeah. Except its name is now sort of wrong, right? It's like a... I guess it's kind of a selection. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna like clean this up a little. I wonder... I find myself curious if like... I definitely get the sense that like the amount that I need to hash around on things is a red flag to me. It seems like I shouldn't, like whatever I'm doing that's making me need to do so much, like, hey, don't forget to do this statically to the compiler. Feels like I'm going overboard. So I wonder if either the compiler can get more clever about like knowing that the SQL select inside of a thing that's right, because like this is already inside of a run directive, yeah, because like the test just like emits that. So we're already doing this like statically. I wonder if like that would help. I don't know. Right, because like presumably I could, like, if I wanted to, I could do like this. Yeah, and like, but like that's like silly. That's like some nonsense. I wonder if that could get like expanded or made smarter. Or if I should just like take away from this that I'm doing this in a kind of like an unsupported, like I'm trying to be too clever. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Well, I think I want to build just like an execute method. I feel like that's what I'm into. Yeah? So you can give it like a, I feel like, man, I need like a from. And a select and a from. I need to think through, like, so, like, in ActiveRecord, like, you can do, like, I don't know. You can start here and then, like, string together, like, a from users. There's this, like, Fluent API business. You can, like, play, like, I don't know. You could, like, play this game. And, like, I wonder if we need some of these sort of, like, chainable operations where, like, obviously we're not OO, so, like, in J, it would need to be, like, I don't know. Kind of need to do it upside down, so, like, first of, like, select of this thing that we've already built together, but, like, from the from, you know? Or I wonder if it's like, if there's some like bigger like SQL statement here, which is like, it has like a SQL selection, and it has like a from, I guess this is like a SQL select and a SQL from, but for now a SQL from is just like a string. And then we can do like execute. And this takes like a con and like a statement. Yeah. And we'll return like a... Okay, so this is where things get really like kind of like wild. So clearly this is wrong. This should be like a SQL select. Okay. So I don't have like a name for, like, this is like, big van driving by. This is where I'm like a little bit stumped. So I feel like in a language with a concept of like an interface or a protocol or something, I could name this like the abstract version. But there's no, I don't know if there's like a good tool for that. Maybe I'll call this like, just give it like no type for now. Give that one like string for now. And I think what I want to do now is like, alright, so like if a SQL select is like the result of this, I don't know. So this means like it's going to be a type, and it'll have a field called SQL expression on it. Like I want to do like, okay, what was it called? How did this work in the repo? I think I can just do like statement tprint. That seems fine. Maybe we'll give it like an S print, and I'll throw it in the pool allocator. Although, do I want a pool allocator? I think I don't. Select something from something, and I care about select.SQL expression, and I care about the SQL from... Yeah. That'll like format things into something that vaguely resembles SQL. Only I think I probably want... I gotta like clean some of this up a bit, but... okay. Oh, you know what? I need these to be more involved, right? This has to be user.id as user ID. And this has to be upper as uppercase email. And these probably want to be in parens as well for safety. Great. Okay. And I need to do print to builder, SQL expression builder, parentheses of the expression as something else. And make sure that still passes. Oh, bummer. SQL from string, get that out of here. Closing paren. Yup. So this, I don't know what type this is going to be. Oof. I guess this has to be like a... It's going to be weird. It is not a member of string. Where did I get it from? Oh. Let me take like a 2-second break. All right. Let's get back to it. This is not what I wanted at all. This one. Okay. And what happened here? It is it dot. Oh, I need to have a dot. Oh, I needed a comma. That's easy to fix. Okay. Looks like the test's passed. Life is good. We have more effective SQL select expression. That's kind of fun. Wow, that feels like seems like I did that. That's like I did that on purpose, you know? Okay. Great. So Great, so I sneak these in, and these are all like compile time constants, so life is pretty good there. And then, what do I want next? I want from repo. I wonder if I can just like pull the connection out from like global state. That seems fine to me. All right, and I think so I'm like struggling in this language with like where do I want to put like the pool allocator, or just like where do I want to have my memory management decisions made. But I think maybe it's fine to just like for now I'll like defer to calling context, which that's like the pattern that the author of the PG library took. Maybe that's good enough. Maybe that's good enough. Okay, so yeah, I need this. I need I don't think I need to worry about that because I can just return the results, yeah? Great. So I can just like do something like this, right? Execute connection, and then the type I want is select, and then the query string is SQL expression, and there's no params or anything. All right. This test is like gonna be terrible because it's gonna like assume like some state lives in the database in the correct way, and it's gonna be just the worst, but whatever, we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's go like selection is going to be, okay, the select is going to be SQL select. I think I probably need to wrap this in a run of SQL selection dot, I don't know, let's like copy the same thing from down here. This seemed like a cool use case. Okay, and then do I just like have like select and like users? That can't possibly work, can it? Expected is going to equal an array of selects, and the first one is going to be user ID is 1, uppercase email is like, what did I call it? Someone at email.org. And the next one is going to be another at email.edu. These both want to be colon equals. Okay. Let's build it. We failed. Cannot pass an array of unknown size as an array of known size. Okay, so I think what I want to do is like for alright, so first expected dot count equals actual dot count. And then I want to say assert expected of actual at expected index. Not defined an anonymous struct. Dang. Alright, okay. So, user ID. And dot uppercase email. Okay, cool. There's hope that this might actually work. We're getting to the point where we're actually like doing stuff. Oh, you know what? I think that I need like actual and success. And assert as success. Pull too many values from a procedure called. I have the wrong case on something. Where am I? Line 6. Return is missing success. Huh, I thought execute did that. Well, whatever. I wonder if I can just do this. Does it do like inference this way? Maybe it will. Yeah, can't do that. Can't do that. Need the type. Oh, line 48. Huh. That's way off. Looks like seg faulty. Looks like uninitialized memory or something. Let's check out these added strings. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or I can just like print actual. Any chance that works? Oh. Well, those IDs are wrong. By a lot. But we're like... The emails are shockingly correct, given how wrong the IDs are. I wonder if there's an issue with like... That I initially said int, and now this is like an S64. Should be like a... It's like a... Huh. I wonder if this is like consistent. Always getting the wrong number. I wonder if that's like a special number in like floating point or something. If this is like obviously, like if I subtract 1 from it, is that a power of 2? I'm not tracking a FedEx package. Hmm. The fact that it's so consistent. Oh, but the... Oh, I see what's happening here. That makes me think that it's like a consistent bug where like the types aren't lining up and we're coercing like a big serial. We're getting the bytes wrong or something. Hmm. I wonder if there's an easy way to like jump into this like module and see what's happening. Just gonna sneak a print. Maybe that'll help, right? Just sneaking a print out the query response. Ugh, always forgetting semicolons. Oh boy. Query response is not very usable. It's just like an opaque pointer, isn't it? How do we get anything out of here? PGN tuples, n fields, PQF name, PQ get is null. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Let's like print that out. What? Oh, I see. Okay, user ID and uppercase email. Cool. Do we mess with the type? We do. And those are not super helpful, but I think there's like PQ types 20 and 25. 20 is int 8. 25 is text. I wonder what int 8 means in Postgres world and how that compares to our like number sizes. Like, I think that's like a giant. I think that's like bigger than an S64. We got like big int. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I figure our S64 isn't enough, right? Is that like... Hmm. 1.7 times 10 to the 38? That doesn't look right. I don't know, do I have like a... What's weird is that, like, I don't know, does that exist? Nope. It's like S128 a thing? Nope. I don't know, let's just call it a string. Does that help? Yeah, user ID, let's just like quote these, see if that helps. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So it might just be like a big serial issue. Although it's one that I'm surprised I wasn't seeing. Like I didn't see this issue when I was playing with, like in here, I was able to select like all the columns where the ID matches. And I think I was like getting the correct IDs out. Let me like comment that out, see what's happening here. Oh yeah, let me like undo the changes I made in the vendor. Wait, what did how did I? Wow, I made more changes here than I realized. Okay. Yeah. Failed. Oh man, the order's wrong. Alright, so seems like it's like it's in a predictable order. That seems fine. Great, okay. I don't need that. Don't need that. Alright, I got something. And this isn't working, but I think that's okay. I think what I want to play around with here now is like reinventing users repo as like in this newer pattern. Yeah, so let's like try that. So what users repo really wants to be at the end is just something with a find method. With like a pointer to a user or a success. Right, this is like about what I want this to be. So let's call this like, I think I'm going to call like user is going to be run, I don't know. SQL select, yeah. On a few things. Name is ID. Type is int. And expression is going to be just ID. This is going to be very boring. A very boring SQL select configuration. Which it seems would be pretty easy to sort of like conventionalize, like table column SQL selection or whatever. There's like 4 of them. We've got like ID is an int. What was I thinking deleting all this before I grabbed it? Alright, let's go back here, and the columns I care about are these ones. So I got created at, and this is like a time t. I've got updated at, this is like a time t as well. And email, and this is a string. Great, okay. Okay, so now find is going to be implemented like given an ID, which is an int. I'm not yet ready for find, am I? Nope. But I wonder if I just like stop here for a sec, I wonder what happens. Oh, interesting. Yep, yep, yep. That sounds about right. Okay, okay. Cool. I'm gonna hack my way through this one and say, right, so now it's encountering here for its selects. Like, I'm just gonna do like if it.name equals SQL expression, then next. It has to be double quotes, doesn't it? Continue. There it is. Syntax error at or near from. Yep. SQL expression is the last one, right? Okay, this is getting hackier and hackier, but I think I'm about to delete this code. Okay. Oh yeah, we have 1 and 2 here now. That's so strange. I wonder if it's something about like the compile time execution versus runtime execution differing on the opinion about size of numbers. That would suck. That would be a bummer. Alright, so the way this is working, I think I can like sneak some where business into the from, and I think I'll do that for now just because I feel lazy. So let's say that user repo then is going to be a struct with a find, which takes ID, returns either user or success. Okay, and what's this going to do? It's going to do a SQL execute of user like that. And then I think I need like this is what I want, and then I want to spread here. Not all control paths return a variable. That's correct. That's that. So like if not SQL execute success, then return null and false. If user's account equals 0, return null, false. Oops. And then otherwise return user 0. And maybe like here's where I wrap things in a pool allocator. I don't know. What's happening? Oh yeah, this, true. Oh right, yeah. Pointer to user 0. Hey, what? And these types, these ints line up. Oh, that's worrying. That's confusing. This feels pretty great though, right? Alright, so I gotta figure out what's happening here. Cause like that's very wrong, you know? I was like confused about the signedness of it. But when it builds, life is pretty good, huh? Okay, okay. Maybe do the same thing to do's repo, and then I might be ready to like walk the dog. I wonder if I'm gonna like, as I like learn more about how this language wants to work, if I'll be like, this is such a great idea, or if I'll be like, I've done everything wrong. Um, hey, this is pretty nice. Okay. Man, I think I can delete everything from repo at this point. I think I used the connection, but that is it. Oh, cool. I've got a lot going on in here now, huh? Alright, alright. Okay. And then everything about this, man, I'll get rid of that for now. This got weird, this thing that I was futzing with. Huh. Well, I feel pretty good about this for now. Alright, I'm going to check out the diff. Man, this is kind of neat. I think I like this. Cool. Well, I'm going to check out, although it's worth noting that all the work I just did is going to be hosted in my GitHub. Maybe I should add, I think my GitHub link is already on my Twitch. Um, but yeah, so all my stuff is like, it's up, it's pushed. Cool. Alright, bye y'all.